Well, welcome back to the Are You Strong show. I have a awesome guest on the show today, and I can't wait to tell you guys how we're connected, which is it's very ironic how sports brings almost everybody together. But this young man is from Kent, Washington, and decided to hop on a plane, come to the other side of the country to play football at probably one of the most prestigious academic institutions in this country, in Dartmouth College. And what's really cool, this guy, he's was the starting quarterback, and he played under Coach Buddy Teevens, who is no longer with us, you know. But the ironic thing is that Coach Teevens coached me back in the 80s, from 1985 through 1986 season. And that is kind of crazy. But what makes it even more crazy is that one of this young man's position coaches, assistant coaches, Dwayne Brooks, actually played with me at Maine under Buddy Teevens. So that is so cool. I can't wait to talk about that a little bit. And unfortunately, due to the Ivy League rules, this young man is going to transfer to Northern Illinois to be the quarterback out there, and which is another very cool situation. But welcome to the show, Jackson Proctor.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me.
I'm glad to have you on, and I can't wait to dive into those two guys and how they've impacted your lives. But before I start hitting you with a million questions, why don't you just tell the audience just a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, obviously I'm from Kent, Washington. I grew up in Washington State my whole life. I played football, baseball, basketball growing up. I can't even remember, when I first started. But sports was my life, and I, wasn't sure where I wanted to go to college, and obviously COVID happened, and um, it was obviously unfortunate, but I landed at Dartmouth and I couldn't be more grateful. And, I've been here for 4 years and I've learned a lot. And I'm excited for the next opportunity at NIU.
Great. So Jackson, it's tough for a young 18-year-old, I want to say kid, but it's a man because you're old enough to go to
Uh,
war, old enough to vote.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But it's tough for an 18-year-old young man to pick up and move 3,000 miles away, roughly, right? To the other side of the country, into the world of the unknown. Can you just touch on what that was like being recruited out of high school to usually guys on the West Coast stay on the West Coast, guys on the East
Uh,
Coast, right? But how
yep.
did you make that decision to say I'm going west or going east to play football?
Yeah, no, it was difficult. I mean, I didn't really know about Dartmouth. I didn't know it was an Ivy League school, and I wasn't really anticipating going to an Ivy League school. Um, and I, realized that, like I said, obviously COVID, that kind of, I wasn't able to play my senior season, and so I wanted to make sure I went to a place where I could get a good education, be coached by really good coaches, and go to a place where I can excel beyond college, specifically, having a network that can, help me down the road. And all those things were important parts of my decision. But it was difficult. And when I first got there, being that far away from home for the first time, being away from your family, your friends, it's hard. And it took a little bit for me to get used to it, especially being in college at an Ivy League school and playing football. So it was a lot to digest, but I was able to, meet some really good friends here, and obviously Hanover is a very tight-knit community, and so I was able to get more comfortable, during the first fall term. We're on quarters, which is, not a lot of schools do that anymore. So terms are 10 weeks, so they're super fast. So, um, you know, honestly, it was a really hard first term, and I think it was good because I was able to kind of figure out a schedule and a way for me to kind of work through a routine. And I think that kind of helped me get more comfortable. But like I said, being away from home was difficult, and I did my best to call my parents and my family every day just to, hear their voice. It helps. know everybody else over here who goes through the same thing will say the same. Well, they'll say the same thing, and and like I said, I was grateful for the opportunity. It was difficult, but it was something that needed to happen.
That's awesome. So
Yeah.
when you're on the West Coast, I know that typically when you're being recruited, especially as a quarterback, the head coach typically comes to the house and visits the
Mhm.
parents. Did Coach Teevens get on a plane and fly out to see, or was it through Zoom?
No, it was all through Zoom. It was right through the thick of COVID. I didn't go on any official or unofficial visits. And it was really just based off of feel and how I meshed and got along with the coaching staff, and that was one of the reasons why I went to Dartmouth. But I actually, with my mom, during the summer of I want to say going I think summer of 2020, going into my senior year, we took a trip out to the East Coast, and we hit 9 schools in 4 days or something like that. Went to Dartmouth. We went to Boston College. Um, we went to BU, Penn, Columbia, Cross, and some other schools, but all of them were shut down. And so I wanted to make sure that I saw the East Coast and saw it before I made a decision. And I think that really helped because when I got to Dartmouth, it actually there was a torrential downpour, and it rained the whole time,
Oh
which was
man,
crazy because like obviously being from the Northwest and
you're
Washington, it
used to the
rains all the
rain.
time. Yeah, but it was definitely uh different because all the restaurants shut down because there was flooding, and it was crazy. But I wanted to make sure I knew where I was going, and I went to Dartmouth and I loved it, and I think I made my decision pretty soon after that.
Cool. So I
Yeah.
have to ask, what was it like playing under Buddy Teevens?
Oh, I mean, it was amazing. And for the people who haven't seen his documentary, highly recommend. I mean, it sheds light on what an amazing man he was, father, husband. I mean, he was great. But I mean, most people don't get to see that, and as football players, we got to see that. And
Yeah,
I mean, he was an amazing man. He was one of the reasons why I went to Dartmouth, because I believed in him and his philosophy in making people better, football players better, and he was, I mean, yeah, like I said, big reason why I went there. And, he changed my life, and I know he changed a lot of, other people's lives, whether that
yeah,
was, the football world or his family, other coaches or people around him. Like he, made a difference in this world. And, I'm really appreciative of that.
that's great.
Yeah.
So were you involved in the year when he said, well, we're not going to tackle?
No, that was earlier than me. By that time, in 2021, when I was there for my freshman year, we weren't tackling for a couple years, I think. But yeah, I mean, it was, as a quarterback, you don't really get tackled at practice.
Yeah. You guys
So it
haven't
wasn't.
made
Yeah, yeah. No, it sucks sometimes because
no disrespect, but come on.
yeah. No, I mean, you anticipate not getting tackled when you get in the game. Yeah, you can get tackled. It's different, but you get
Yeah.
used to it. But he, was very adamant about not getting guys injured. And, it happens in practice all the time. Guys were getting concussions, and,
Yeah.
people thought he was crazy. But, now everybody in the NFL does it, college does it.
Yeah.
Nobody tackles in practice anymore. And, people are safer for that. And, he always preached to us, like, I mean, after football's over, for, the majority of people, you have to be able to work, coexist with other people, and you need to have a brain for that. And so, I mean, he was a big proponent of that, and obviously he changed football for
Yeah.
everyone. Yeah.
I wish they did that when I was playing. You know what I mean? There's,
Yeah.
I mean, our world was, 3 weeks, 3 sessions a day, full pads, and go at it.
Yeah, when
Yeah.
I was younger, it was I mean, we were kind of the same philosophy. We'd have 2 days, you tackle from sun up till sundown, but that's you know that's the thing now is technology is different, and
Yeah,
everybody has a better sense of what's going on, and there's good and bad aspects
yeah,
to it, but I definitely think it's better for the overall whole, just keeping people safer and healthier.
right. And for those that are listening, when we say there's no tackling, there's no live body to body tackling. But we
Yeah.
had the tackling dummies, you had all that stuff. You were still hitting
Yeah.
things.
So he came out with the
Robot.
MVP. Yeah, the little tackling dummy that was controlled. And so that was the big thing that he invented, when he was at Dartmouth. And one of the reasons why, he stopped tackling because he thought that was a safer way of, creating less concussions. So
Yeah.
he went to the engineering school and, put together a little I don't know, 6 foot
Prototype.
tall, yeah, prototype tackling dummy that would cruise around 20 miles an hour across the field. And, we still use it today. Quarterbacks use it to offensive line. So it's been awesome. And it's cool to see, the NFL using it,
Yeah.
other college programs using it. It's really worldwide, which is cool.
Yeah. Hey, Jackson, your mic seems like it's getting a little cutting up.
Um, yep.
So here's what I want to ask all the guys and girls that come on the show is, I mean, you're playing at a high level of football, and now you're going to an even higher level, right? When did you know you had the skills to play at this level? Did you know when you were a young kid, or did it all of a sudden it sprung on you when you were in high school? When did you realize, hey, I could go play at the next level and play at a really high level?
I mean, from a very young age, I knew I wanted to play sports. I think I was very fortunate enough to have, God give me, some gifts. And, I knew that was something that I wanted to do down the road. It really wasn't until, eighth grade, ninth grade into high school, I really, started training for it and really thinking about going to college to play sports. I also played baseball and basketball, but basketball wasn't really part, something that I wanted to go, play college in. It was really football and baseball. And so those were kind of the two that were toss-ups. I wasn't sure really which one I wanted to do and probably until junior year. I had a pretty good season, and I had some college interests and stuff like that. And that's when I kind of realized, like, okay, this is possible. I can go, get a good education and play sports, for 4 more years or 5 more years. And I thought
Yeah.
that was kind of the time where I realized that was something I could do. And I still love baseball. Sometimes I wish I was still playing it. But I think football kind of spoke to me.
Yeah. Well, you're sporting your team,
Yeah,
right? With the hat,
go Mariners.
you know? Do you know the name Billy Swift?
Heard of it.
Are you like a diehard Seattle Mariners fan or what?
I'm not diehard, but like I'm a fan.
Okay.
Probably not the super old guys I would
Yep.
know, but I go to games whenever I can, and even though they never make the playoffs, I still root
Yep.
for them. So
Watch when you say super old guys. Because this guy
yeah,
Billy
the Ken
Swift,
Griffey's and the Randy Johnsons and all those
oh
guys, but
yeah, well that's where I'm going. Because Billy Swift he pitched at Maine.
oh,
And,
cool.
and he was drafted, I think he was like number 2 or 3 draft in the 1980 Ford draft
Hmm.
by Seattle. And I
Okay.
think he played for at least 10 years with Seattle. He was on there a long
Mhm.
time.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And then he got traded or signed as a free agent with San Francisco, played there a couple years, then he retired.
Okay.
But
Sounds that's a pretty long career. That's awesome.
yeah, he played a long time. My other roommate, his name was Mike Bordick, and he played baseball for Oakland with the you know who the Bash brothers are, right? Jose
Oh,
Canseco and
oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. You said
yeah,
bad. I wasn't really sure
yeah, the
the
Bash brothers.
nickname.
And then he played for Baltimore for a number
Okay.
of years when Cal Ripken moved to third base.
Hey, dude, some good baseball players coming out of Maine.
Oh yeah,
Let's go.
When I was there for 4 years in a row, they went to the College World Series, the final eight. 4 years in a row.
That's impressive. That's
These
tough to do.
these guys were big
Really
time
tough to
at that
do.
time.
Yeah.
Now
Have they gone ever since?
no, no. I don't know what's going on up there right now, but uh, they haven't been back. I don't think ever since.
Have they
You know,
been any good since, or you ever keep up with them?
they're average.
Okay.
I mean, let me take that back. The kid on Houston, the shortstop for Houston, played at
Hmm.
Maine.
Okay.
And
That's dope.
he's pretty good.
Yeah, he's a player.
So there's a couple guys in the league, but back then it was like these guys were monster players. But that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
So looking at your college career, you know, um, as an athlete, how did that help you develop as a person?
I would say it helped me a ton. I mean, just because, as an athlete in college, you have to really be, mindful of your time and when you can, work out, when you go to class, when you do your homework, when you, put the extra work in, on the field or in the weight room. And it takes up a lot of your day. And if you don't, and like I said, I mean, I made that mistake my first year and it hurt me, mainly because I just wasn't ready. But I think it really helps you learn time management and, obviously being able to work with a team and other people.
Yep.
I mean, so much of the world and, the job market and, all those other things relies on how well do you work with other people. And I think football does that and, helps you have a close relationship with all your teammates and I mean I'm sure it's like a brotherhood. You
Yeah.
can't really explain it
No.
because you spend so much time with them and it's it's a family, it's a brotherhood and it really gives you the skills to really do anything, whether it's hard work or pushing through adversity. There's really nothing that can get by you as an athlete and I think it helps tremendously.
So academics, you must have been a smart student coming out of high school.
That was fairly smart, yeah.
You know what I mean? And usually when kids, yeah, I was kind of smart, they're like you were really smart. I'm sure you're downplaying it.
I mean,
Um,
I was lucky because during COVID I didn't have to take an ACT or an SAT, so I just got in on my GPA, which was nice. Because I mean, some people aren't very good test takers. That's me. I don't know why, just not. So I got lucky that way, but I work hard and
yeah,
I don't like to struggle in school, so I put the time that I need to put in to, get the right grades. But,
right.
college is tough, and so you
What
just have to understand yourself.
what was your high school GPA? You remember?
I had a 3.94.
You mean you couldn't squeak out a 4.0? Come on.
No, I that one pre-calc class I had junior year, that killed me.
So what was your GPA at Dartmouth?
I have a 3.4 right now. So, this last term's going well. So hopefully I can get that up to 3.45 or something like that. But,
Well, and that's awesome.
definitely did not start out hot. That was,
But hey,
I had
you
to,
know what? You might start out slow, but you're finishing hot.
that's how you finish. Yep.
You know what I mean? And you said something before. I'm going to give you a little words of advice as an old guy, old athlete talking to a young athlete. You didn't get lucky. You put in the work.
Yeah.
And
Happened for a reason.
I coined a phrase a long time ago. Maybe I stole it from somebody. I don't know, but I think I invented it. That hard work finds good luck.
Oh, I've heard that before. I like that.
Yeah. But luck, you don't find any luck if you don't work hard.
Hmm.
you know and years ago when I was in high school, somebody pulled me aside. I used to say the same thing. I just got lucky. And he's like, no, you don't get lucky, you work hard to get where you're at. So the next time somebody might ask you something, hey, you didn't get lucky, man. Hey, okay, you didn't have to take a COVID, I mean, SAT test or AC. Neither anybody else. You know what I mean? So it wasn't just you got lucky, the whole world got lucky.
Yeah, they sure did.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you work hard.
I
And again,
appreciate that. I like that. I'll remember that. I like
yeah,
that.
what'd you say? 3.94?
Yeah, in high school.
Come on, you're close to perfect. You know what I mean?
Almost.
So
I was
take
almost
that,
there
yeah, carry that with you and be proud of that and say you worked your butt off to get that grade,
for sure.
you know? So
Yeah.
that's my next question then. Football, listen, I lived it, I know it. It's a full-time job in college. Maybe even more than a full-time job. How the heck did you balance, and how does anybody on your team balance the academic side of Dartmouth, which is very intense, with football? Like, how did you do that?
Again, time management, I think that's really the only way. I mean, you the fall season obviously is the most time consuming, but we would have class in the morning, meetings right after class, and practice back to back, all the way until 7 p.m. And then you got to find time to finish your homework until you go to bed. So it was really kind of how you use your time. And like I said, if you don't have a schedule, you're gonna fall behind. And once you fall behind, especially on the quarter system, um, it's hard to come back. So, time management was really the biggest thing for me, and especially for all the athletes, they get it. Like you said, it's a full-time job, and you just kind of have to understand, the free time that you have is not as free as you think it is because you got to use it productively towards something else, whether that is watching film or finishing your homework or doing a group project. Because if you can keep that schedule and that mindset, then you'll be all right. And I figured that out, and now it's so much easier for me because I feel like I have more free time now because I'm productive and I get the stuff done that I need to get done,
Yeah.
and that it pays off in the end for sure.
I love what you said. Your free time is not as free as you think it is.
Hmm. It
It's
goes
what do
real
you do
quick.
with it?
Yeah.
That's great, you know. And I don't know how you guys do it, balancing that type of time situation with sports and getting those kind of grades. And what's really cool today, and that's why I'm excited to have you on here, is I want the world to know that athletes are smart. Athletes can get great grades. Athletes can perform both on and off the field. And now, when I was in school, I think we might have chatted about this on the phone when the first time we spoke. Getting good grades like wasn't in vogue. It was like you do enough just to play. You do you C's get degrees, do your best, bag the rest, and it was the model. And then if your grades were really high, it was like you're studying too much. You're spending too much time studying versus watching
Yeah.
film. Now keep in mind, our film was reel to reel, hitting the button, rewind back and forth,
Yeah.
right? So it took a while. So we had to spend more time in front of the
Yeah.
projector. And but today it's like it's in vogue. It's cool to be
Mhm.
smart and good on
Yeah.
the field,
Yeah.
you know?
It's yeah, it's uh, we want more intelligent, smart, hardworking people in this world, and it's a good thing because if you can be smart and play sports at the same time, it says a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And I'll tell you one thing, it tells your future employers a lot too.
It does. It
Because
does.
and this is really bad. I'm just gonna throw it out there. Is that an employer says, "Oh, college football player 2.2, that figures," right? It's still the mindset versus college football player 3.4, 3.5. Whoa, that's like we want that guy.
Because they know that they work well with others.
Yeah,
They work really hard. They know how to respond to adversity. And,
yeah,
that's the big thing with, Dartmouth is we have a really good network. And,
yeah,
there's a lot of people who want to take Dartmouth football players in the job market because they know that, they're going to work hard. They're going to, do things on time. They're going to, work well together, and it's really invaluable. And I, didn't really understand that at first coming here, but I've been able to realize how important that is, and how important it is, for the next 40 years.
yep. And what's cool about all the Ivy League schools is if you use like USC out in the West,
Mhm.
like they're kind of on the West Coast and their alumni is the West Coast and maybe North and South a little bit.
Yep,
But the Ivy League alumni, they're everywhere.
it's global. Yeah,
Yeah, like you said, they're not just here in this country, they're all over the world.
everywhere,
You know what I
everywhere.
mean? And you got people flying in from all over the world to go to that school. And then you got kids who are from here, graduate, and they go to other parts of the world.
Mhm.
So it's like huge,
It is. It
you
is. It's
know?
actually it's wild that you say that because I was lucky enough to have an internship this past winter with the Premier Lacrosse League. Their, president and CEO, he was a Dartmouth football guy. And I would do research for them and, help. His name's Mike Rabel. Shout out Mike. But, I'd help do research through Dartmouth Connect, which is like a database for, Dartmouth alumni
Yeah,
who, work in the job world in this country, other countries. And it's crazy how many people are from Dartmouth that
yeah.
you had no idea, high up in companies,
Oh, yeah,
um, you know, live in, other parts of the world. And it was really, really cool to see all those people and where they're from.
now, how many kids go to that school at one time?
So we have 4,600 undergraduate students. So
Okay.
very, very small. Like there's some
Yeah,
high schools bigger than us.
yeah,
But it's cool because it's like I said, very tight-knit community. And everybody, I don't want to say everybody knows everybody, but you recognize most people.
yeah,
And it's cool because we're out in the middle of nowhere, and it's just our own little community, and
yeah,
it's really cool. I can't remember the percentage, but the majority of the school is athletes. So whether that's women's, men's,
yeah,
it's a very athlete-driven school, which is cool. And you get to meet a lot of really cool people.
yeah. That's awesome. So you've been there 4 years, right? Like
Mhm.
almost 4 full years. Can you put a finger on a special moment in time? Like this was awesome.
Tough. Is it anything sports
Anything.
related,
It
school
could be
related?
sports related,
Yeah,
non-sport. Like some guy the other day like gave me something that had nothing to do with sports. I'm
mm,
like, but that was his most memorable moment at school.
yeah.
Anything
Honestly, I
jump
would
out?
just keep it simple. Is it's just um the times that I'm hanging out with all my friends, and whether that's watching movies or at the dining hall just
Yeah,
chopping it up. I was at the dining hall for an hour and a half just talking to all my buds, and um it was cool, and it's something that um you can't take for granted because like I said, 4 years and it goes by quick, and now I'm off somewhere else. So I'm trying to cherish that and take advantage of that. But those moments I think are the coolest moments to me for sure.
oh, yeah. Well, let me ask you this, and let me see if you can even describe it, because I asked this to a lot of guys on the show. Can you describe the locker room? Can you describe the bus rides, the plane rides? Can you describe the team when you win? Can you even describe that?
It's at you can, but you can't because unless you're in it, you don't understand. And
Right.
so it's I mean it's awesome. And um those are the moments you live for. Like the last 2 years we won the Ivy League championship, and the locker room afterwards is awesome. You're with your buddies, you worked the whole year for that moment, and you're just enjoying everybody, and the season. And it's really, really, really cool. And like I said, you can't take it for granted because it goes by quick.
Yeah.
And like you said, even the bus rides and those moments, whether we're going down to Penn, which is a 7-hour bus ride, long as hell, but it's
They
fun
won't let you
because
fly, huh?
no, they won't. Well, maybe now that the Ivy League can go the playoff, but it's yeah, it's really awesome. And then you don't think about it as much until you get a little bit older. But
Yeah.
I mean, I'm glad you brought it up because it's really cool, whether it's a locker room, whether it's the bus rides, the pregame meals the night
Yeah.
before are
Yeah.
awesome. You're all just chopping it up for 30, 45 minutes, and um it's awesome. So,
How about this? The bus ride back after a win.
oh, it's the best. Oh my, it's actually so much fun. I mean,
Right.
it's you had a long week.
Yeah.
You won and you're on the way back, you're getting fed. You're at everybody's, whether it's a movie or,
Yeah.
bumping music, it's
Yeah.
just a good time. You're relaxed, you don't got to worry about anything else.
Right.
Usually the next day's Sunday, so you just kind of get to hang out. So it's cool.
Yeah. And I promise you, like we were chatting before, I'm reconnecting with some of the guys on my team.
Hmm.
Those memories, they are it's
They don't go away.
they don't go away. They're special. They're baked into your head.
Hmm.
And when you reconnect with your teammates down the road, because you're not going to stay in touch with everybody forever.
Yeah.
It's just not
Yeah.
going to happen. Too many guys. When you're going to reconnect with somebody 10 years from now, 20 years from now, 40 years from now, like I just did. And it's like yesterday,
It's awesome.
and
You don't
and
get
the
that anywhere else.
no, and the emotional connection, it almost literally brings you to tears, and
Man.
and that's what I try to that's why I'm doing this whole show here is that I want people to understand and know that like what goes on in our heads
Hmm.
is just different,
Yeah.
and what we go through to get there is
Yeah.
not easy. You know what I mean? And it's the joint suffering that we all go through together in the
Sure.
summers and during
Yep.
the
The
season and in
winners.
the
Yep.
winters that brings you even closer and closer. And that doesn't mean you got to love and like everybody on the team,
Hmm.
but when it's time to go to work, you don't care about your relationship with each other. It's time to go
Yeah.
to work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But that
Yeah.
that
For
that's
sure.
what's special, which is so cool. So let me ask you this question. You've been through it. You've been through a tough commute, 3,000 miles, decide to get up and what advice can you give to a young guy who's thinking about doing the same thing? He's like, do I go across the country to go to Ivy League or do I stay home? Like, what advice can you give him?
Yeah, I think the big thing is, just trust your gut. There's so much outside noise that goes on, nowadays and influence, peer pressure, what have you, but just trust your gut. Like you know what's best for you and whether that's going across the country, I definitely didn't think about doing that, but after the fact, it was the best decision I've ever made. So just trust your gut. You know what's, right for you. Make the best decision for yourself and yourself down the road because having a 40-year plan is important. And I think as a young person, you don't think about that as much.
No.
And I think that's an important perspective to have.
So what do you think they should look for if they're looking for something in a college football program? Are there certain things they should look for in order to help make that decision?
Um, I mean, just somewhere that you feel comfortable and can call home because you're going to be there for 4 years. I mean, obviously, transfer portal that changes everything, but some place that you can grow as a person. If you're playing football, you can grow as a football player, but somewhere that you can grow and learn and better yourself in those next 4 years. Like I said, that could be on the football field or in the classroom, or a place that has a really good network where you can build your portfolio and meet a bunch of new people. But it all I think happens by trusting your gut and knowing what's right for you.
Good. And that's not, sometimes that's not easy to do for a young 18-year-old.
It isn't. It was a hard decision for me too, because you always want to go to these big schools and it's and for most people they just kind of want to party and have a good 4 years, but I think it's important to think about the road ahead and
Mm,
what is going to be in store for you for the next 40 years. I always talk about the 40-year plan. That was a big thing that Dartmouth instilled in me was understanding what those next years are going to hold for you and
mm.
being able to use that process to kind of build that plan for those 40 years. So Dartmouth was a huge help for that.
I mean, that is huge. Understand your 40-year plan. And I love that because those 40 years that you have are going to affect the next 40.
For sure.
And I think a lot of young guys don't get that. They
Mm,
kind of some of them waste that 40 years
yeah,
and now what, right?
exactly.
But that's the right mindset to have. So how about setbacks? Have you had in your 4 years any significant setbacks through football, school, anything, any hurdles you had to jump over?
Yeah, me definitely school was that first term. I mean, I think I had a 2.7 that first term, and that was the lowest GPA I've ever had. Um,
2.7. You know how
yeah,
some guys would pay for that?
I struggled, but it helped me learn and grow. I mean, you only learn and grow from your failures, and so I think not to say that that was your failure, that was a failure, but it was a learning experience for me, and I was able to build on, what happened that first term and kind of set myself up for, the next 4 years. But football related, honestly, it was um, not starting right away. Obviously, playing in high school and, the years before that, you're so used to playing and then you go to college and everybody's good.
Yeah.
I definitely struggled a little bit and it was hard. I mean, mentally, physically, it was, difficult those first 2 years, but I think that again kind of just, helped me realize that, the process, you just got to trust it. And um, everyone, nowadays wants that instant gratification and wants it to happen now. But, sometimes the best things, come to those who wait. So, I was able to play my junior year and I played because some guys got hurt, but I came in and took advantage of my opportunity and haven't looked back since. But this year it was a great year, but I also I sprained my UCL in my elbow week 3, and it was a year where there was a lot of high hopes and dreams and stuff, and being out for 3 weeks was tough just because we only have a 10-week season, so it goes by fast. And I was thinking about all um the times with all your brothers, and missing those 3 opportunities was hard, but again, it was kind of something that kind of hardened me to get me over the hump. And I ended up playing the last 4 games of the season, and I had a really good second half of the year, and we ended up winning the Ivy League championship. So it was cool. And like I said, hard times don't last. You just kind of have to trust yourself and trust the process. But yeah, yeah, I mean, it's everybody goes through adversity, so it's how you respond to that adversity is kind of truly what makes you you.
So where are the rings?
So I got one my freshman year. That one was sweet because I mean, obviously your first year here, it's being able to experience that was pretty cool. And then my junior and senior year, we shared the Ivy League. Obviously, it's that weird thing where if you
You
have
still
the,
get a ring.
same record, you share it. But yeah, so I got three. I got three. That's gonna be my pinky, my right
That is
ring, and middle
awesome.
finger. So pretty
That
cool.
do you know how many people? It's funny you say that. Did I? I don't. Maybe I told you this on the phone, but I was just on when talking. I told you the guy this morning, Troy, and he stayed a fifth year. I left after four. I graduated and left. He had another year because I played four, and he had an extra year left. And my freshman year, this is a kind of a quick story, but my freshman year, the year before they won the conference championship, they all got these big gigantic rings. I come in, so that means the sophomores, the juniors, and the seniors all have a ring that are ahead of me, right? Because they
Yep.
won the year before. I came in 4 years nothing, right? The year after I leave, they win the conference championship, which means
Oh,
my senior year, the juniors, the sophomores, and the freshmen now all have a ring. So that one
it's
class,
great.
no ring.
Oh, it's tough.
Oh, it's painful.
It's
And
tough.
these guys walk around with these things like it's the Holy Grail because you should. You're so proud of it. And
Yeah.
I'm like, son of a gun. Like, I'm the only class, nothing, you
Yeah,
know?
those things are huge. I mean, I remember the first one. I mean, it's like I mean, that
Yeah,
big, maybe a little bit bigger, and it's on your hand, and you're like, holy, it was
yeah.
crazy.
But like, I'm going to give you a little advice on that. obviously you don't wear it every day,
Yeah, no, I mean,
but when you go out and you put a suit on for any type of suit function,
it's going on.
you wear one.
It's going on.
And if you're going to travel on a plane, wear one. Because when you're sitting in the airport for 2 hours, people are going to look, they're going to see it. And they're going to say, hey, what is that? What's that for? If you're sitting on a plane, the guy or the people next to you will see it. And they're going to, what is that?
True. I never thought about that.
Yep. It's just a way to get the conversations going. And because you
Mhm.
never know who you're sitting next to.
You could meet, the CEO of Boeing. You have no
Right.
idea.
Exactly. So when they see that, because if you have no ring on and you're in your sweats or whatever, like who's this guy? Who knows? Right? But you got that ring on, it means something. And all of a sudden, they're like, oh, you play Dartmouth? You were the QB? We got to talk to you about. We might have an opportunity for you,
That's
right?
how it works. Yeah,
So make sure you use that to your
I will.
advantage.
I will. Thank you. I appreciate that.
So if you think, how about injuries and your arm? What happened? How long were we out? Was it painful? What was the rehab like?
It was like that was I've had the sprained ankles and the bumps and bruises and all that kind of stuff, but spraining my UCL and my elbow was tough because I was close to having to get surgery, but I was lucky enough to have it only be a grade 2. So obviously, I had to rehab it. It wasn't typically that's something that happens to pitchers in baseball, but I was in the pocket and I was going to throw, and on my follow through, my arm got caught by a D lineman, and it kind of ruptured that ligament right there. That's
Hmm.
really important when you extend and throw. Obviously, football you throw it a little bit different than baseball, so I was able to come back quicker than if it was in baseball. But it was tough because not being able to throw, you can't really do much.
Yeah.
And I would only be able to do walkthroughs in practice and visualize as much as I can. But I mean, it was really just again trusting the process. Like I trusted the trainers, the doctors I talked to, and I was determined to get back as quick as I possibly could because it was my senior year. I wanted to be able to experience as much of it as I could, with all my guys. And, eventually winning an Ivy League championship is pretty cool. But it was hard mentally, I would say more than physically. It was hard
Yeah.
just because, as an athlete, you understand when you get hurt, you can't play it. It's like um, I don't even know, like a needle in the heart. It sucks. But those are the things you kind of have to play through and understand. I mean, that's part of the game.
Yeah.
And I think it definitely made me better. I mean, not only as a person, but I think a leader too. Just
Yeah.
being more vocal. Obviously, not playing those 3 weeks. I had to, kind of be there for the younger quarterbacks, and both of them came in and played pretty well, and we won, all the games we played. So, I think obviously things happen for a reason. That happened because, that was a time where, God wanted me to um, be a better leader. So, I mean, things happen for a reason, and I truly believe that. And, obviously it sucks, but I'm glad it happened.
Yeah. It's almost especially for a quarterback. I played quarterback in high school, but obviously wasn't remotely close to what you did in college. But when you're out there, you feel like you're Superman almost, don't you?
It's pretty cool, especially
Right.
when you um, get used to playing in college and you have, games under your belt and you get
Yeah.
really, really comfortable.
Yeah.
It's really cool. Everything
Yeah.
slows down.
Yep.
It really does feel like you're Superman. It's cool.
Right. It feels like you're Superman, but what makes you even feel like more Superman is that everyone's counting on you.
Mm.
They're counting on you to save the day. So when you get hurt, it's like you get hit with kryptonite. It's like
Yeah. Yeah.
you can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
And you're like, go sit over there. Like, wait a minute, I'm used to saving the day, and you're gonna make
Yeah.
me sit over there, and
It's
it's
tough.
oh my God.
It really is.
Oh my God. But hey, you know what? You got through it,
Yep.
and now you're in a whole nother world. You're
Hmm.
healthy, and now you're
Yep.
gonna go into another opportunity and become Superman over there,
Yes, sir.
you
I'm
know?
excited.
So tell me about that opportunity. What are you looking forward to? What's it gonna be like?
It's gonna be different. I mean, I've visited the Midwest, a couple times, but I've never really been over there, lived over there. When I went on my OV, it was different. No trees, it was really flat. But it's cool. I mean, it's a cool little football town. DeKalb, Illinois. It's an hour west of Chicago. And I went on my OV and it was the first official visit I've ever taken, so it was pretty cool. But I just right when I got there, I knew that was the place I wanted to go. I mean, the coaches, Coach Hammock. I mean, everybody knows Coach Hammock from the Notre Dame game,
Yep.
but I mean, he's
He's an
genuinely
emotional guy.
a good person. Yeah, he
Yep.
cares for his players.
Yep.
And so much now in this day and age is you have a lot of everything's transactional and you don't really get that feeling of trust and love from your coaches and even your teammates. And that was a big decision for me. And one of the reasons why I went there was I just really trusted in, what he had planned and what he wanted to do and be there for me as a person, let alone just as a football player. And like I said, that was one of the reasons why I went to Dartmouth. And that'll never not be a reason why I go somewhere, but that was huge. And then obviously they have a good track record. I mean, they had a good season last year. They beat Notre Dame.
Yeah.
And they have a new offensive coordinator coming in, and I've already been meeting with him, and he's been great. I mean, I've learned a ton already, and I haven't even met him in person.
Yep.
So I think it's a really good opportunity for me, and it was just something that I couldn't pass up.
Yeah. Now, are they playing Notre Dame again next year?
No, they're not, but that would be pretty cool. We obviously we have our max schedule, but we play at Mississippi State, at Maryland, and then we play San Diego State at home. So
All right.
pretty good non-conference schedule. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. That's gonna be a tough one.
it'll be fun.
So where do you think you're gonna fit in the mix out there? You're gonna be the number one guy?
I mean, it's I have a chance to compete. Like that's what they told me, and that's what I plan on doing. I'm excited. They're a young room, so I think I can really have a veteran presence.
Mhm.
And again, I mean, it's just something where it's an opportunity for me to grow as a leader. So,
Yeah.
that was also another reason, just being able to mentor those young guys and kind of not show them the ropes, but kind of show them what I've learned in, my 4 years, because um, it's been a wild 4 years and I've learned a lot. And I think I can really help mentor them and show that perspective.
Cool. You said throughout the hour we've been talking here that a couple of times about growing as a leader.
Hmm.
Talk to me about that. Talk to me about your leadership on your current team, how you handle it, how you go about it, how you look at it, and what will you bring with you to Northern Illinois as a leader?
Yeah, I mean, the quarterback position is, huge on leadership. Like you can't really be a quarterback unless you have leadership. And so, I've never been a crazy vocal guy, but I truly think that I go about things the right way. I will say this, I work harder than anyone. I mean, I put the time in and I really believe in what I do. And I think I can show other people that. And I think other people see that. And I think that's why I'm a good leader because people trust me. I really think make creating relationships is important, being able to understand your guys and, not being crazy vocal. I think that's the big thing that has helped me over the 4 years is just being able to learn my teammates, create relationships with them because then when you get on the field, I mean, you know it, and you trust the guys around you and it makes your job a whole lot easier. So, I mean, that's kind of what I want to bring up to NIU is just that leadership capability, whether that's even in the community or on the football team, but just being able to create relationships where I can impact those guys' lives just as much as they can impact mine.
Well, you said you used the word relationship, and I mentioned it a couple of times, like there's 110 guys, 120 guys on the team in the locker room.
Mhm.
It's hard to have a relationship with everybody,
Mhm.
especially when the freshmen are coming in, you're a senior. It's like, how do you make that bond? But as a quarterback, I'm
Yeah,
going to
true.
guess you got to go in across the board.
Yep,
You know?
everybody.
So how do you do that? How do you build that relationship with somebody when you're just not clicking with the guy?
Yeah, I mean I think the biggest thing is just being yourself and being authentic. Like I'm never gonna go in there and try to be somebody I'm not. And again, I think guys see that and they trust that. But I think the biggest thing is just understanding who your teammates are. Like some guys react to criticism well, some don't. So being able to, get on one guy and then, have more positivity with another one. So I think that's a big thing in terms of relationships and understanding my guys. But at the end of the day, I mean, you're not gonna know and love everybody, but it's just being somebody in the locker room who can impact the people around them and be, a positive light in the society.
To do, right?
What's that?
It's hard to do.
It is. It is. But I mean, some people got to do it. And so I try to take that burden just because, I'm always wanting to help people. And I think that, people can use it.
Hey, Superman's a hard job, isn't it?
It's pretty tough sometimes, but I love it.
Does anybody ever make that reference to you? Hey, it's like you're like Superman out there.
I mean, you're honestly the first one who's kind of brought it up that way. So it's
I
pretty cool.
got to put that S on your chest, you know? So what's the future look like for you, Jackson? I mean, is you have NFL aspirations? Like what's it looking like?
Yeah, no, the plan is to go pro. I mean, that's been the plan since, I was a little kid. Um, I have 2 years left. I was able to get a medical redshirt from my sophomore year, but um, you know, definitely going to NIU and then from there just seeing, where that takes me. I mean, could go someplace else, I don't know. I like to stay in the present moment, but I mean, the big goal is, playing in the NFL, playing professionally and I'm going to play as long as I possibly can.
Yeah, like you said, I mean, there's the NFL, there's the UFL, there's the
Yeah, all
CFL,
kinds of places. So
you know.
everything happens for a reason, and something's gonna happen for me, and it's gonna mean something, and I'm just along for the ride.
What about coaching? Is that an aspiration of you to maybe be a college coach?
I definitely, have thought about it. I know, I want to be around sports, and so, whether that's playing it or working in sports. I mean, that was, one of the reasons why I, worked for the PLL last winter was just I kind of wanted to get a feel for front office operations, just kind of how the sports industry works. And I was super grateful for it because I know that, I can be an impact on the football field playing and not playing. And so I think, down the road, my backup plan is, working in some way, shape, or form for, sports league. Whether that's coaching or front office stuff, I don't know, but I'll figure that out when the time comes.
What about coming back to Dartmouth and coaching there?
I don't know. I wouldn't be opposed. It's a pretty
Taking
cool
over
place to be.
taking over Buddy's job.
It's a pretty cool place to be.
I can only imagine. So, Jackson, we talked about a lot of stuff. We're over an hour in chatting. See how quickly the
Doesn't
time
it feel
goes?
like it? Yeah, it's
No,
crazy.
I know. I mean, we could talk for 2 more hours.
Yeah.
But is there anything I haven't asked you yet that you think we should touch on before we wrap it up?
I mean, I feel like we touched on a lot of it. Um, yeah, I don't know. I mean,
Okay. Well, let me
if you
ask you
have
this.
anything else, I'm happy, but I don't think I
Let
got
me
anything.
ask you this ending question. If you want someone to know you as the man, not the football player, the man, how do you want to be known?
Somebody who helps other people and serves other people. I think that is, why I'm on this earth. And, whether that's football or, in the job world, whatever it is, like I think that's my calling. And I truly believe that. And, I'm going to do everything in my power to continue to help the people around me in a positive way.
That's awesome. Well, I mean, you've done it so far.
Get
There's
it.
no reason why it would stop.
Yeah.
But Jackson, keep having that Superman mentality.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I love that.
And just remember, hard work finds good luck. You're
Love it.
not
I'm gonna
getting
write that down.
lucky. You are not getting lucky at anything.
I'm gonna write that down. I love it.
You're busting your butt and you deserve everything you get, if not more. And if you keep pursuing your dreams, it'll happen,
Thank you. I appreciate that.
you know? So, hey, listen, thanks for being on the show. I'm wishing you all the best. I'll be watching out there, in Northern Illinois.
Yes, sir.
You get just as much cold and snow, and it's no different.
I think
So,
I might get colder. I don't know.
nah, it'll be the same thing. But stay healthy.
I
Whatever you
will.
do, stay
Thank
healthy
you. Thank
and
you.
bring the same drive out there and let those guys know how it's done.
Yes, sir.
All
Yes,
right.
sir.
Thanks for being on.
Thank you.